Discussing politics and watching all our favorite hoes. Discussing politics and watching all our favorite hoes.
You two aren't the only ones who enjoy doing the dirty hula. Oh no, I've taken many rides down Vulva Boulevard. Who's that? Looking for someone? Who's there? Let's get together for that special tingle. You're talking about girl homo. Uh-huh. Life can be so rewarding. Jump over the wall and I'll wax your bikini line. Looking for someone? She likes my voice. Girl homo. I've been told I sound like Petula Clark. The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles. Petula Clark, Petula Clark, Petula Clark. Forget all your cares and go, go, go. Down on me. I want you to do something for me. Uh-huh. Make me scream like a scalded puppy. Uh-huh. What else? Spread my delicious ass. Uh-huh. What else? Bite off my tongue and swallow it. I can tell you've never had a lucky spasm. I'm a schoolgirl. Teach me, teach me. Party della go-go. Wow. Girl homo.
Girl homo indeed. You know, usually I'm not a big fan, I've said on record, of the lesbian scenes, but somehow this film is just, with all its like hippie beach like blanket bingo kind of charm and its crazy beatnik dialogue, it just works for me. This is two guys watching porn, a show where we watch porn and we discuss current events. And today we happen to be watching a classic film from, I believe, 1990 or around that time, called Party Doll A Go-Go. And this is one that features a bevy of the top stars from that period. Yeah. So what are your earliest impressions of this film?
Well, you let me into it at one time, a while ago.
Because good friends lend porn. There's nothing weird about that.
Yeah, exactly. And I watched it, and I thought it was kind of cool. It's kind of beatniky. It's, you know, different. I just couldn't put a face on each one of the actresses. Like, who are the two on the screen now? Or watch?
Well, the blonde girl, the one who's receiving cunnilingus here, that is Nikki Wilde. She was one of my favorites from the time period. She played the role of the Kelly Bundy. I think it's Nellie Undy in the film, in the first porno parody of Married with Children.
Okay. That's a lot.
Now, the brunette hair, that is a lady called Raven, who was very popular back in the late 80s and early 90s. She was actually the star of the series of films called Taboo American Style, which was one of the last shot-on-film type of series of pornos before the video revolution took over and everything kind of just became like a crappy video quality before video really advanced to the 90s with digital. But she starred in a series of films full of incest with Tom Byron, who's also in this movie. And it was an actual soap opera. It ran for 4 chapters. So you'd watch 1 hour, and that would be done, and then it'd be like in the next episode. So it's kind of cool in that sense and innovative.
Okay. Well, this is Rob.
This is Rob, and this is Chris. We are your hosts and humble narrators, and we're hoping that this 3rd episode will finally get some attention from the public. So far, we've gotten 1 response from our friend Christina. Not necessarily saying anything useful about the show, no, but made us laugh anyway with her movie ideas.
Yeah.
So, what's going on in the world today that you think's worth mentioning?
Not much, really. I mean, the same old nonsense. Woman lying about the lotto ticket. That bullshit Trayvon thing still going on. So I figured we'd do a little bit different episode today.
Oh, if I may say, I heard on the news that lady with the money that you had mentioned in our last podcast, the one who who was given all that money as a tip at her waitressing job, and the government, she turned it into the police, but then they didn't want to give it back to her because they said it was used for drug money. Apparently she got her money.
That's good. I didn't read that. Thanks for informing me. That's good. Glad that the county decided to give her money, which is rightfully hers.
And I think those guys stole another cow. I'm not sure. It's possible. I think this time they went for an emu and like a snuffleupagus.
Wouldn't doubt it, man. Did they try stealing it in a Honda again?
I think this time they used a Buick LeSabre.
Okay, so they're getting a little bit better at it.
Yeah, a little classier.
Alright, well, I figured this time around we would go over a list of women we thought were inspiring for history.
Women inspiring, like a list of the most inspiring women to us.
Yeah, so we think did the biggest change or
exacted some kind of movement in society.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Someone who had more of the most social impact and gave more to her fellow man and woman.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like an example.
Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa, definitely Mother Teresa. She was a very generous, caring woman. A little creepy, if you ask me. I mean, she did supposedly drink in a shot glass like the spit of lepers to show that she was not afraid of lepers. Now, that is hardcore. I admire it. I think she did wonderful things. I wouldn't drink out of the same cup as the bitch, but I mean, what do you find inspiring about Mother Teresa?
Basically the same thing, all the good things she did for mankind. The fact that she's actually going to be Pope, what do you call it, made into
a saint, the beatified?
Sanctified. She's the first person to ever be sanctified so closely after her death.
Yeah.
After their death. It usually takes years, to get sanctified, but they're talking about sanctifying her here within the next couple years, so fairly close after her death.
Yeah, and amazingly, she never made the Maxim Top 100 list.
I don't know.
Okay, now, if I were to think of a woman that inspires me, who would I think? I would have to go one even higher than Mother Teresa and say the Virgin Mary. Now, in honor of Easter, which is just passed, it makes you think, here's a woman who, depending on your train of thought, either gave birth to the son of the creative force in the universe, God, gave birth to his child, or she was a girl who really knew how to stick to a story. And either way, I really respect that a great deal. I always wondered, does virgin mean only, front door virgin, but it is in lieu of the fact that some people believe she's holy. I'm not going to go on that tangent.
Yeah, we don't want to get any.
No talk about backdoor Virgin Mary action or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. If I had to think of one that inspired me, Gina Paloma.
Gina Paloma. Yes. Now, Gina Paloma, in case you haven't heard of her, she is one of the... Well, I said Gina Paloma, didn't I? That would be insulting. It's Gia Paloma. Gia Paloma. One of the most enthusiastic porn stars working today. Spicy little meatball. Hispanic lady of some sort, I'm not sure.
Not sure of her ethnicity, but...
Not sure of the ethnicity, but wild. Maybe some American Indian in her. I think I see some American Indian in her, some Spanish, and 3 black guys.
They always see 3 black guys in her, though.
I mean, this girl, she could take a penis all the way down her throat till it pops out the back of her head. She is like a reverse unicorn.
Yeah, she's... has to go on my top 10 hottest porn star list.
Top 10 hottest porn star list. Well, if we're going with fantasy as well, I would have to say number 4 on the list would have to be Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan. Now, not only did she run a rebellion against the tyrannical forces of the evil empire, but she also was a thinking woman, not like a pretty girl. At a time when science fiction films and fantasy films always had a beautiful lady that they had to steal or save, who was helpless. She walked around with fucking croissants tied to her head just to make her a little uglier. And she took charge. The second they bust her out of prison, she's talking to the Wookiee saying, like, give me your gun, you big douchebag. She has no fear. And turns out later on she actually was kind of hot, because when she finally whips it off in Return of the Jedi and wears that little slave girl outfit, you're like, whoa, I didn't know she had those things. I mean, she's probably coked out of her mind at the time, but still, she was pretty hot looking.
Well, isn't the slave Leia, isn't that every geek's fantasy?
Oh my god. I've always thought of that. I would go to nerd heaven. You know how they say nerd heaven is like the heaven that the Muslims believe, because when you go up there, there are literally 77 virgins.
Yep. I'd have to put on the list Cleopatra.
Cleopatra, interesting choice. Brought down like the part of the Roman Empire, like,
by using her sexuality, by using her body. I mean, she used what God gave her to rule an empire.
Now, I've also heard this of Cleopatra, that she had such a reputation of being a very lustful woman, a very promiscuous woman who owned her sex. She wasn't living back in the time when women had to walk 10 feet behind men. Well, she was really, but she wasn't having any of it. They called her, I believe the term was Le Maréchal, which stood for she who has swallowed the load of 10,000 men. I've read that somewhere.
Or something new. I didn't know that. Well, so who would you put on this list?
Edith Bunker. Now, I know you're going to laugh at me, Edith Bunker, because Edith Bunker, she was the moral compass of that show. She always did the right thing. She was an honest, kind woman living with a volatile man, and she always held that family together. She was the glue. She was the bridge between two generations of woman. She came from the time of the women who did whatever their husbands said and knew their place, and she was coming to terms with a new world where women took charge and women might go out and work, and women, they had their own opinions, and this is a new thing to her. And whether it was, cooking food for her useless son-in-law and ugly daughter, or keeping Archie from going off on a tangent, or just bringing home an interesting bit of gossip from Sybil Gooley down at the Ferguson's Market, she always had something to give, something warm and motherly, and it's just beautiful.
It'll bring you to tears, man.
It does. It brings me to tears. Just like this scene brings my penis to tears. Now, this is Patricia Kennedy. Patricia Kennedy is not one of the most attractive porn stars. In fact, she looks like someone might have broken her nose a few times. But again, she is a great example of early 90s superstar porn stars. Because, she looked like the stripper who might go home with you. Not like some of the more platinum beauties of today. And back then, really, all the girls kind of looked like coked up whores.
Talking about platinum beauties.
Okay.
Delta White.
Delta White? You mean Delta Burke?
No, Delta White.
White.
She's a porn star. She's a British porn star. She's got platinum hair, tattoos. She always does like punky porn.
Delta White. Mm-hmm. I have never heard that.
Never heard of Delta White. You should look her up. See, I educated you today.
Educate me? Go ahead. Well, you can be my James Olmos and stand by me.
Nice reference.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
She always does she's a British porn star. She works for Kilogram.
Kilogram?
Yes, it's a British porn company. They do a lot of dogger scenes, which if you're not familiar with doggers, where
where you're in public?
You're out in public having
and
sex.
People find that's a total term called dogging, where apparently a whole bunch. Some people go out and they purposely screw in cars, way out in parking lots where they can be viewed, and there's a whole other counterculture that follows them around, watching them.
She does that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
She's come over here to the States a few times, done some porn. I just think she's got tattoos. She's, blonde hair, blue eyed. Usually has pink or purple in her hair, like pink or purple strip. Something about her. I like her accent because it's not overly Britishy, but it's that.
You sound like, "Hey, governor."
Nah, but there is an accent there. She does have a little bit of an accent.
Yeah.
But she's a Barbie doll looking kind of woman, but something about her I don't know what it is.
Well, I'll have to check her out. Delta Burke.
Delta White.
Delta White.
Delta Burke.
Okay. Well, speaking of Delta Venus, Anais Nin. She's one of my favorite women. She's a famous writer of erotica from the 20s or 30s or maybe the 40s, sometime in the past. I'm not really sure. She was also the subject of the movie Henry and June because she had a long-running affair with Henry Miller, even though her name wasn't June. June was Henry Miller's wife, I think. But she wrote many books, one of them including Delta Venus and a lot of erotic diaries. One of my favorite stories I remember reading of her is about a woman who's in a crowd watching a hanging, and some man comes up behind her and starts molesting her from behind, and soon they're having full-out sex, standing there, standing room only, watching a guy get hanged. And I think she actually climaxes as he does his last little spastic buck and jerk on the stage.
Okay. Let's see, who else would I? Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart. She was a pioneer, although I'm always a little leery of people who are pioneers in fields that other people have done, just no one of their gender or ethnicity. It's like, sooner or later they'll be the first woman to go to the moon. Big deal. Neil Armstrong was wiping his cock on that bitch 42 years ago. I mean, sloppy seconds is a bitch sometimes. And I mean, by then she's already dried up too. But whatever, like the second lady in space, or the first lady in space for America was Sally Ride, and that was almost 23 years after the first man went into space. And even even the first American into space, Alan Shepard, was only the first American. Another Russian guy had already done it. So it's always weird. But why Amelia Earhart?
Well, like I said, because she's a pioneer. She crossed the boundary in genders that wasn't crossed before her.
That's probably a bigger accomplishment.
Yeah, she was the first female pilot, woman to get her pilot's license. She was the first accomplished female pilot by any great distance. Of course, she also was dog-ass ugly.
Yeah, she kind of had like a Bobby Kennedy look.
Yeah, she was ugly.
Maybe like a Martina Navratilova.
She did.
Would you do her?
It's me you're talking to. Hell, if it's a female, human, and alive, I'll do it. You know that about me.
So, hot dang diggity, he ain't too picky. All he needs is a hole in a heartbeat.
Yep, and this just needs to be of the human species. That's all I need.
Okay, so how many have we had so far?
I don't really know.
I think we may have come close to the 10, but in lieu of not knowing, I am going to add another person to the list. One of my favorite porn stars. Someone I haven't seen enough of lately, actually, and I'm beginning to miss her. Hillary Scott. Now, Hillary Scott is a cute little blonde girl who somehow seems to get destroyed in every film. It's kind of sad. It's a contrast of emotions because she's cute and I want to take care of her, but I also want to watch men just destroy her on film. She also calls her asshole her shit locker, which I find charming. She's the kind of girl you could take home to mother for a threesome.
Yeah, okay. All right. I don't really know. I mean, there's a couple others I would add.
Well, just for shits and giggles, how about just reading me what else is on your list, or just right off the bat?
Sasha Grey.
Sasha Grey, beautiful, independent porno producer, kind of took charge of her career. She always looks a little dead in her films, but
I kind of
submits to everything.
Yeah, again, Queen Victoria's on my list.
Queen Victoria, yeah.
Joan of Arc. Eleanor Roosevelt. And then I have one of my personal favorite porn stars, Lisa Ann.
And I believe she played, am I wrong, Sarah Palin?
She played Sarah
Palin. Who's Nailin' Palin?
Yep, and she's also ranked 2011's #1 hottest porn star.
#1 hottest porn
She's got a big, fake tip, milfy look to her that I just dig. She
kind of looked like if you were on a plane and it was going down, you're going to grab onto her.
Yeah.
Because, you can fuck her and float.
She's got big thighs, and she's not a little skinny little thing.
I know, but skinny bitches, fuck them.
But she's the type of body type that I like to begin with anyway. So.
Yeah.
And I think the Nailin' Palin is what put Pamela over to the top of the list of
because it showed she could also handle political issues, just like this show, which I think has safely come to its conclusion for a third week. We appreciate all of you joining us, discussing and singing the praise of all the women in history that we've appreciated. I'm sure there's many more, but I can't think of any.
Not right now. I can't think of any either anymore.
So this is Chris.
And this is Rob.
Saying boom shanka, sayonara, arrivedercis. Any other salutations you want to throw in? Shalom.
Shalom. Hasta la vista.
Aloha. Guten Morgen, which is good morning in German, so it's inappropriate for this. And Godspeed, John Glenn.
Discussing the day's important issues. Regular guys, two average shows. Discussing politics and watching all our favorite hosts. Discussing politics and watching all our favorite hosts.
Lies, more lies, 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 lies.